Well, good day, everybody. This is Charmaine Miller, your running partner on this journey of continual learning and personal growth. I'm delighted that you're back and still motivated to do whatever it takes to keep getting better and better. Now, last week I opened up a can of worms by encouraging you to embrace conflict in the workplace. No, I was not advocating that you go around picking a fight or spurring others to get it on. We know some folks don't need any encouragement at all anyway. However, I explained that since conflict is a normal part of the workplace, then we might as well see what we can learn from it when it arises. If you missed it last week, go back and find out at least 3 things you can learn from conflict at work. Today, I want to equip you with 5 things you can do to help resolve conflict at work, because conflict rarely resolves itself, In fact, if it's not dealt with early, properly, and proactively, it normally mushrooms into a massive problem. Yeah, I know a lot of responsibility might fall on leadership, you might be saying. But if the conflict involves you better jump into action. So the first thing I want to encourage you to do, if you want to work on resolving conflict at work, is to talk. Now, this is simple enough, right? Well, this calls for you to ask the other person involved to give a convenient time and place to meet, preferably a place where you won't be interrupted. Now, if the person is cantankerous and hot-headed, you need to use wisdom here. I don't think you want to put yourself in a secluded place with someone who is prone to throw blows, right? If you think the person is unreasonable, then you might want to bring along a third party, a neutral third party. When you do talk, though, remember to give adequate time for both of you to speak your piece. Neither of you should monopolize the conversation. If you didn't know before, Rockwell was keen to explain that ego monopolizes conversations. Ego overshadows others, and it needs the spotlight. So sit on your ego for a bit while in this conversation, okay? Remember to just talk about the disagreements and how you feel. Don't use this as a time to play the blame game or as a time to give your opinion of the person's character. I just witnessed this the other day and it didn't turn out too nice. So besides talking, the second thing I want to encourage you to do is target the actions and events, not the personalities. This point is critical. If you want to truly resolve the conflict, don't go beating around the bush talking about everything in the book. Honestly, when you do this, your focus is just on hurting the other person emotionally. Don't generalize, okay? Mark Twain said, all generalizations are false, including this one. So don't start saying that the person always does this or always does that. Instead, describe a specific instance or event. You can say something like, well, when you did X, Y, and Z, it made me feel blah, 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 blah. Okay? So target the action or the events that brought on the conflict, not the person's character or personality. Now, the third thing I want to encourage you to do is to tune in, to listen attentively. Tune in. This is probably the biggest challenge for many people because it requires giving complete attention to the person doing the talking. Listening means taking a second to consider what they're saying, not just hearing the words. It goes deeper than that. Instead of preparing yourself to react, listen to what is being said and avoid interpreting. Even avoid interrupting. To let that person know you were listening actively, when they are finished speaking, try rephrase what was said to ensure you got the message they intended. You could say something like, let me see if I got this right. You are upset that blah, 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 because I blah, 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 blah. You might even choose to ask questions just to clarify your understanding. You see, the goal of listening should always be to gain understanding. Don't allow yourself to react to other person's words either. Just tune in and listen attentively. The fourth thing I want you to consider as you work on resolving the conflict is tackle of agreement and disagreement. One thing I've learned about conflict in general is that the parties involved seldom agree on what the issues are. So once you've started the talking process by So, by targeting the actions or the events while listening attentively, be sure to summarize the areas that you agree and disagree on. Then ask the other person if they agree with your assessment. You see, resolution is only possible when you find areas of agreement. When people are divided, John Hume said, the only solution is agreement. So this agreement gives you a neutral ground to start on. Now, if they feel as though you left out something, from your assessment, or that you should delete an issue, then modify your assessment until you both agree on the areas of conflict. Now, this is crucial because from this point, you can now discuss the areas that are most important to each of you to resolve. Trust me, I've seen this work in my own marriage. As my husband and I work out differences, we emerge with some positives instead of all negatives because we share examples or instances in which we agree with the other person or where we can see their point of view. So listen, if you say that you're resolving a conflict and you can't find one positive thing to say about the other person, then sad to say, the real issue is with you. Can't be that naive to think that everybody is wrong and you're the only person doing everything right. So tackle the points of agreement and disagreement as well. The final thing I want to encourage you to do as you work out the conflict is to tease. Tease out a plan to work on each conflict. What good is it to have this elaborate conversation to address the conflict, but then leave with no tangible plan as to how to work out the issues? That's like looking at yourself in the mirror, seeing a booger in your eye and leaving it there. Dumb, huh? Like Peter Drucker said, unless commitment is made, there are only promises and hopes, but no plans. So start with the most important conflict that you agreed on and begin focusing on the future and a better way forward. You might even want to set up a future meeting to reevaluate the progress and see if the issue is truly diminishing. There you have it, folks. 5 things you can do to help resolve conflict at work. First, talk. Talk to the person or persons involved in a civil manner. Second, target. Target the actions and events, not the personalities. Third, tune. Tune in to listen attentively. Fourth, tackle. Tackle points of agreement and disagreement. And finally, tease. Tease out a plan to work on each conflict. Don't worry about those who play dirty and may not be aware of how to amicably resolve issues. See, you know better, so you do better. And in doing so, you'll be making yourself more viable for that next promotion. If you found this video helpful, take a few seconds to share it with a coworker or a friend. If you haven't done so as yet, go ahead and subscribe to our YouTube channel, Proactive Skill Developers. We always appreciate hearing from you, so leave a comment while you're there and let us know how you're dealing with conflict in the workplace. In the meantime, let's choose to keep learning and growing, because what we learn becomes a part of who we are. And like Einstein said, once we stop learning, we start dying. So, never stop learning, because life, as you know, never stops teaching. Until next time, to your success.